the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up, oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's race day. 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 Crank it up.
And hello everyone and welcome back to PTM Racing TV, where we're live here tonight at Homestead Miami Speedway live in Miami Beach, Florida, where we will see the drivers here of our Pushing Limits Racing League series go at it here tonight in the trucks division as we get settled in for tonight's action. Hi again everyone, I am Christian the Crusader Driver, and welcome back to the show as we show you our track tech talk for the evening. This is one of the fastest and best tracks I feel that these drivers will be running all circuit long, especially with the trucks division. With the way this division has been and the way it's shown up on our end here, this Homestead is just one of those tracks, man, that it commands respect, but at the same time, it is so much fun to watch, and it can be one of the best tracks to see here on the show. So let's get down to business as always, get the brass taxes online. We are on to the gridding order here tonight. Cindy the closer, Taylor will be the starting gun. She will be your number one qualifier in the 07. And to her outside, it's going to be Matthew Hoffer in the 28. On number 2, it's going to be Jeffrey Oaks in the number 20. And then his outside, it's going to be Dustin Slonaker in the 66. Row number 3, it's going to be Warren Young in the number 1. To his outside, it's going to be Jeffrey Todd Tufts in that 72. Row number 4, Noah Healy in the 84. And then Chantel the Throttle Bottle in the 5, with the final starter being Keith Checkmate Taylor in the 08 to round out the field here tonight. And now we begin the slow, steady position on through to bring these drivers to life, bring everything we got to the full page here. We're just going to go ahead and refresh the stream here. There we go. Hopefully that took care of that little lag we had there. Pops up every once in a while if you guys couldn't tell here on the show. Scoreboard's up and running now. We're ready to go here as they bring him down turn 3. This time by, they will let him loose and let him out of here. 60 laps to the distance tonight, 1 hour to complete. This is going to be a drag race and a fight if they can get it down to the end. This track has been known for laying down some hard races and hard runs. Will we see something similar to that here tonight? We're going to find out as they come across now down. Looking for their run on the restart here. They will bring it back into the front straightaway here. The green flag flies. We're underway. And Noah Healy out of the gate already having some troubles there. They already go into a 3-wide salute scenario there. Jeffrey Tufts, unfortunately though, taking Chantel the Throttle Bottle already into trouble city there. She goes for a wreck and there is smoke everywhere. We've got a caution. Now that was not how we wanted to start that off here at all. Well, we're going to have to take a look at the replay here and find out why that happened exactly here on the show. We're going to go back and take a look at this one here and see where everything went completely haywire, because we completely missed something on that restart here that we were not aware of. Here is the PTM Instant Replay in all of its glory. We're going to get a better look at it from our old chopper cam. Someone call her Schwarzenegger. I need him to get to the chopper. Let's see here on the restart. Looks like Chantel didn't even get off the line. Jeffrey Todd Tubbs, he didn't even get off the line, man. He literally just had missed a gear and a shift there. Taking 3 wide there and already out of that salute. And the 5 of Chantel Throttle Bottle ends up getting tagged in it. So, like, have to eat my words there. Chantel ends up being the victim here, unfortunately, if you will, in the situation here, being kind of caught off guard from the Todd Tubbs situation there. So the first caution of the night already, and definitely not the way they wanted to start it out here. Todd already in pit road, having to get some work done. Sonaker going to go into pit road as well. They are allowed 2 instant repairs here tonight, so they need to be a little bit careful about how hard they run this track and how hard they run these through. That's one thing around here you don't want to overdo, is try to be hard on the throttle all the time and be bashing stuff around when you shouldn't. That's one thing I've noticed anyway. Let's go ahead and take a look at our driver's lineup here tonight. Here again, we got old Matthew Hoffer here, and that Mountain Dew number 28. You see that Chevrolet, Chevrolet, God, Chevrolet Silverado. I can't even talk today. The 20 of Jeffrey Oaks. And then right behind him, of course, one of the reigning defending champions right now, the 07 of Cindy the Golder Taylor. Been on a hot streak as of late, it seems. And she's been winning pretty strongly out here. And we'll see if she can continue that tonight. Warren Young in the Echo Park Chevrolet Silverado Exalted machine as well. He's looking for a little bit of redemption after unfortunate mistakes he's had over the course of this season. Noah Healy, obviously a bad fast hombre, just trying to get himself dialed in, get the truck dialed in as well. He knows how to run. He just needs that one little extra kick and a little step, and I think he'll be there. The key checkmate Taylor, I don't think there's anything I need to say about him other than kind of what I said about Cindy, which is he's been on a better road to victory as of late, but he's still kind of left out and struggling on other ends of the spectrum. Chantel the Throttle Bottle, she knows what it takes to win out on any circuit and any series, and she definitely seems to put up a fight when it comes to the way they drive around here. Jeffrey Todd Tubbs, though, he's always been at each other's games for a long time, and he knows how to run with them, and he knows how to fight with them. But I think, if anything, it will be a matter of time before you really see him try to push everything to its limits. You could say he's trying to push its limits. And then, of course, last but not least, Justin Sonaker in that 66, the Lucky Charms Ford F-150. Honestly, a lot better at commentary with me when he's not on the track. I'm just kidding. He's a good driver on the track. He's good in the broadcast booth as well. I love dealing with him, and obviously he knows I like to mess with him every now and then when he's on the show. So I gotta get him every once in a while. So they'll pull them around out of turn 4 this time by. Everybody's still getting settled up, getting taken care of here. Chantel is still in pit road, and she just now left the pits here. It looks like they will stay under caution. Race command saying we do not want them to go yet. They want them squared away and taken care of here. They do not want to run a race in when there is simply no reason to. We still need to get folks taken care of here. So she'll at least base the pace car out, which will help her out a little bit for this one. She'll try to get a good start off this end and try to pull off a little bit more momentum. This is going to be a very, in my opinion, this track tonight, man, it's going to be tricky because you've got 2 areas of play and one area that is going to really hurt you if you're not careful, and that is exit. So what am I talking about here? If you look right here on this exit lane, you see there's a little indentation, a little in-depth position there out of turn 2. It's the same thing with turn 4. There's a little slick spot, as I like to call it, when you come off that edge and you come off that position, and if you're not careful, you're coming off a little too fast and you rev it up too quickly, it's going to send you straight to the wall or send you straight to the bottom because you're spinning then time. Third 4 is just the same. So there are 2 ways and 2 methods to run this track, and that's bottom or the high side. The middle does have some grip, but a lot of folks usually try to run the high side or the bottom, as you've seen probably on the show before and you've seen in real NASCAR. iRacing obviously doing a great job trying to mimic exactly what these drivers deal with on a constant basis and how they're supposed to run. Give them a better idea and a broaden their expenses and their ideas. As the green flag now comes back on out here, we are back underway for the truck race division of the Pushing Limits Racing League. And once again, off to a bit of a slow start is Noah Healy, already going straight to the infield. They're having some problems already out of the gate as we see a battle cup raging on out of turn 2 already. The 20 of Jeffrey Oaks going to go to work on his old friend Matthew Hofford here. Matthew Hopper in the 28 Mountain Dew machine right now, trying to stay a little bit under the nose and under the radar here, trying to give himself a little bit of a more of a fighting chance every time he comes on out, and he's definitely showing it right now, pulling off some good runs here out of the gate. To the onboard camera we go, Warren Young. You can see right here, he is already drifting up pretty high on those exits, on those entries. I almost kind of like feel like you got to treat this place almost kind of like a dirt track at Fairbury when you're running on that high side there. You have to kind of stay a little bit more to the middle before you go high. Let the truck or car drift up a little bit in there, and then just kind of ride that wall around and stick the landing in when you cam off those exits. That's really the hardest part about here that I've always have noticed here, and that's my feeling. It's a lot easier said than done to try to corner off the spots just right, but it's a lot easier to keep your truck just straight enough. And Jeffrey Oaks right now switching out with Hofford. Hofford goes to the high banks. Oaksy goes to the low banks. Looks like Hofford's trying to get a little bit of a run there on that back straightaway, trying to stay up on the high end here. As the number 1 on Warren Young now starting to squeeze a little bit more momentum out of that number 1 Exalta Chevrolet, trying to get up there. Here comes Chief Checkmate Taylor, starter from the outhouse, moves to the White House. On board camera right now, you see Keith Checkmate Taylor right now going to work here on Warren Young, and I still haven't figured out a nickname for Warren here. He's always kind of been nicknameless. I don't know how to really explain it. He just has kind of like that motto to him. We always just called him Young Racing because that was what he was in the game in our game there. But here in the sim, when you're going to be your real name, it's like, what do we call you exactly, or what do we exactly say who you are? And I've always tried to find nicknames for everybody out here so we can kind of give a better idea, a little more description on how people are in general. Obviously, Keith Checkmate has lived up to his nickname because that is what he started with, and that's where he's going to keep it with. And he is now going to perform a daily double down out of turn 2, make the run here, and Matthew Hofford trying to stay ahead. Jeffrey Oaks going to go back at him, trying to get a draft off it, but you can see the bottom line just seems to be clicking just a slight bit more for the Checkmate camp. 1/6 of the way here so far right now, and Checkmate is check it out on the second place spot, but the 20 of Jeffrey Oaks says, no, sir, I do not like to check out of my hotel in Miami. I like to stay here a little longer. So he is going to stay down to the bottom end of the spectrum, going to stay on the first row, if you will, and he's going to try to stay the first floor and see if maybe there is a little bit of a bargaining for him, but it does not work out. Keith Checkmate Taylor moves in down out of turn 3, and he's already making a pass here. Here it comes. Pulls it straight down, slides up, slider initiated out of turn 4, and Hofford not able to defend it, but he's going to try to cross over one more time down the front stretch. Now this is what we were talking about earlier with Homestead. This is what the battles rage on. This is what good racing is all about. You can see these two drivers absolutely putting on a clinic, trying to fight each other off, trying to stay in line. This is the battle for the race lead, while the rest of the field trying to gain some ground and catch up in position, if you will. Some hard racing to be had here. Hofford right now back down to the very bottom, tippy-toeing his way around the track. He's trying to get a little bit more momentum off that line there, but it's just not kicking, I think, the way he was hoping for. To the onboard camera we go, and you can see Checkmate now. He's literally going up on the high banks. He was on the bottom earlier, and he decided to change his strategy of. It appears the high side right now is the more grippy of the two. Well, you can just see how Matthew Hopper right now is just working that wheel and trying to make sure he does not go into that wall protection. If you do touch that wall, it's like super glue. It gets you stuck up there. Although I do know there was an update a while back that changed that up a little bit, made it a little bit easier. Sparky, Dustin Sonaker there in that 66 Lucky Charms, F-150 a little damaged up on that end. The 84 Noah Healy as well. And the rear end still, Chantel has a little damage back there. She's probably waiting to use that insert pair up for later. Might be smart strategy, and it might be clever, if you will, because they do have to go into pit road eventually when all is said and done. Sparky looked like he was trying to go for a bottom run there off the 84, but Noah managing to defend it. Taxi Collective right now doing a pretty good job staying in his run. Noah, the son of Brian Healy right now, running kind of his truck, if you will. We saw that last night here on the show with Pedal to Metal Racing League. And they were real. And that night, man, I thought it was probably one of the better races we've seen with the Kansas truck racing. Kansas definitely is a track that I did not expect to see good racing like that on, but there was a lot of side-by-side and lead changes, and to the end, it was pretty interesting to see who was going to be able to make that move when the time came. But it ended up going to the one that's literally charging ahead again. That's Cindy the Closer Taylor. That old 07 Wolfpack machine right now is moving the chains around as Warren Young of the Exalted #1 gets right up on the high bank, stuck into the wall protection. Nowhere to go there. We're going on board with the reigning champ right now. Oh, and remember what I said earlier. There it is right there. Got too hard on the throttle and ended up drifting just a slight bit too high. You got to try to stay more towards the middle, upper, high end echelon before you get up to that bottom. You get up to that banking of the wall. And it got her there. Warren Young looks like he's going to try to make her pay for it. Bringing it back around out of turn 2 here. A side-by-side battle ensues to the line. It's a drag race as they come right into your living room. But it is a 07 of Cindy that is able to manage and perfect it. She holds on. She's going to have a little bit more work to do, though, if she wants to catch back up to Jeffrey Oaks and Matthew Hofford. Because those two right now, and obviously her brother Keith Checkmate Taylor leading this one out. Oaksy and Hofford are just doing whatever they need to and staying nice and under control. Ooh, as I say that, it looks like they maybe got a little over out of control because they were right here. That wall protection there, man, they are getting closer and closer to trouble zone and trouble territory, but they somehow seem to be managing them well. Checkmate, though, currently is just checking out the field here. Let's go ahead and take a look at our pit strategy right now, or not our pit strategy, our lap times right now. Hofford only had one good lap on him that caught him by a little bit. The other laps have been all checkmates. Now remember, though, there is still a good margin of laps to be completed, and they have to worry about that pit strategy fuel run because that is going to affect them later on. Take a look at the lap times here for Oaksy and Taylor here, and this looks like a little bit of a different situation here. Cindy the Closer Taylor is gaining some ground there on Jeffrey Oaks, and if she can catch that draft a little bit more, she'll definitely have something for her brother. I got asked a couple nights ago, like, who was the better of the two, and I told him flat out, I'm not going to judge that off of anything personally. I will judge that off of their race wins, and at the moment, Cindy definitely has a lot more wins than Keith. Keith overheard me and was like, yeah, I'm going to change that sooner or later. So tonight, I think, is just a little bit of redemption for him. He just wants to try to take that down and try to take that notch off his back. 3 Canadian drivers in here with us tonight, 6 of them from the American, obviously, from the United States. Noah Healy, Chantel, Throttle Pottle, and Jeffrey Todd Tufts, all from the Canadian region. Todd, I believe, from the lower ends of Nova Scotia, Canada, while Healy and Pottle are from the Rock, if you will. And no, I did not mean like Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I mean legit rock, if you will, out of Canada region. You can look it up if you don't know what I mean. Coming out of turn 4 here, out of the gun, Warren Young and Todd Tufts doing a little bit of a battle here. Todd having some struggles earlier on. He missed a shift completely on the start, and it's pretty much just been that way the whole time. He's been missing chances and missing runs as they played it out here. And Cindy Taylor getting a big pass there on Matthew Hofford. I completely missed that by a mile. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one. See what happened here. Looks like Hofford out of turn 4. He got a little too hard on the wall, lost his ground, and pushed back down. And next thing you know, Cindy Taylor managing to make a big run in position and making a big change in the position in that area there. Let's take a look at it here from another angle and see what happened exactly here with Hofford as they were coming out of turn 3 and 4. Here is the ultimate replay of what happened exactly to Hofford here. You're going to see him kind of drift up just slightly there, and it was just enough to get into the wall protection. And then here comes Cindy right there out of turn 4, and there's the full throttle assault push off of that run, and she just managing to clear Hofford with the gracious of ease. And that was your PTM instant replay. So now a new third place starter right now, and Oaksy knows she's catching up ever so slightly. Back to the drawing board we go with the lap times right now, just about halfway through this one, and Taylor, she is gunning them pretty quickly here. She's getting a pretty good run or two off of them. Meanwhile, Checkmate, well, he's kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum. He's checking out on the whole field. He's not even giving anybody any chances here. Making this look stupid easy if you ask me. He is just laying into it thick and thin and not even caring where he goes. Back into position, here we go. Matthew Hoffer trying to get up a little bit more momentum. You unfortunately have to get into that wall protection. Lost a lot of ground and time. Warren Young starting at 5th. He currently is 5th. Todd Suss falling behind him. Unfortunately, he has a lap down at the moment due to the unfortunate circumstances that he had earlier. I gotta believe he's getting a little bit annoyed about that. Janet Healy cheering on the rock. Yep, Janet, great to have you on board. Brian Healy. And yep, I know. Newfoundland race the local track, Eastbound Rate Speedway. Yep, Brian, I got you, man. Noah races number 84 and X Bandolero. I probably said that wrong, so Bandolero? Well, nevertheless, Brian, great to have you on board here tonight, man, and great to see you back from the Kansas race last night. Dustin Slonaker in that 66 Lucky Charms Ford F-150. Looks like he's going to try to probably put it into pit road because everybody else is at the moment, or is he going to stay out? Oh, he is going to play a different strategy here, folks. He's going to go out and take over the race lead. So we now have ourselves, for the first time in a while, the new leader to be put up on the score. Sparkalicious, Dustin Slonaker is going to take the race lead away. He's up 3 spots from earlier. He is moving the chains, moving the field, doing a pretty good job so far. Todd stays out as well. I gotta believe he's just trying to get his lap backs as well here. He's trying to get something figured in and dialed up a little more. Gotta believe a little bit of that was the struggles he had earlier. Chantel, the throttle bottle right now, still unfortunately at a little bit of a distance here. She had a pit, looks like she might have had a problem in pit road there, having to take a penalty for over driving through there, so that will definitely cost her a lot of ground and time, moves her down into the bottom end of the spectrum. Noah right now still in the 8th slot, now moving into the 7th after Todd goes into pit road, so might be a little bit of a change up or two. Actually, I take it back, there was no pit strategy issue there. It was just Slonaker had lapped pretty much the whole field until he went into pit road, and well, that's going to change ever so quickly now. Here comes Jeffrey Oaks in that 20. He's now going to come across here on the front straightaway, and now we have officially the new leader being brought upon to Mr. Jeffrey Oaks. Not halfway done with this one yet, but it's getting ever so closer, and it is looking more and more like it's going to be a battle of the Taylors and the Oaksy and Hoffer camp, the way I've been seeing it. 9 drivers here tonight, and obviously more looking to possibly get in eventually here. Be great to see more drivers whenever we can get a chance and give them a fair shake at these things, man. This is one thing around here that you gotta love watching, you gotta love seeing, is when you can have a different amount of series and different kind of races in between. Obviously with the truck series here, this has been more of a kind of an experimental thing, I believe, is what the elite told me. This is more of about just going out here, let them loose, and try and see what all the classes everyone can figure out and master at. It makes for some pretty good racing. I will say though, when we had the 87s, I think that was probably the most hectic one, and I didn't even get to call it. Sparky out there in that 66 Lucky Charms you see right now, he was the one that actually made the call that night. I was unfortunately out with the bug. No, it was not COVID. It for those at home that keep annoying me and bugging me, and no, it was not COVID. I did not have that virus. What it was just a really bad flu, unfortunately, in my stomach, and had to change the diet up and got things figured out there, so at least I'm all good there. I'll admit that right now. Well, Sparky ain't careful right now. His little idea he had earlier on to try to work his way through the whole field might be falling apart ever so slightly at the seams, because Cindy the Colder Taylor is moving ever so quicker and closely to him here. Give him credit too, though. At least he's fighting. And speaking of fighting, now we've got ourselves a little bit of a fight up here. Here comes Checkmate going at it with Jeffrey Oaks here. Checkmate get a little bit ever so closer, a little too close if you will. Do not break my camera down there at your Checkmate. Keith managing to go to the bottom line, make a run for it here. He's going to try to deliver the slider out of turn 2. Can he drift up quick enough? No. Yes, baby. Yes, so it is. Jeffrey Oaks, so he puts it right back to his right corner bender, and now he is looking for redemption. It's going to be an interesting one here as they take it down around once more off the turn 4. These drivers hammering down. Look at the chopper cam being put to use. There's a crossover. Here comes Oaksy now down. He looks like he's going to try to deliver the goods to Checkmate here. And the more they keep battling, the more they're just going to give Cindy a chance to catch up to him. Keep trying to get a little bit closer off that wall, trying to build up momentum. He got a good run off that exit, and Jeffrey slides back up, but Checkmate back at it, side by side once more. We are throwing the crossover, then the haymakers. You know, for those at home that say you can't throw sliders in asphalt, well, what do you call that exactly? Because I would say that was a pretty good slider if you ask me, just in a different kind of form. Pushing them around out of turn 1, still side by side, crossover between, fighting with one another. And I'll tell you right now, folks, I've gone to war with Jeffrey Oaks before. I've gone to hell and back with him on tracks of this similar nature on Homestead, and especially one that I can remember too fondly. I believe it was back at Road America when we were on the NASCAR Heat 4 series. Oh man, what a night that was. Literally, first 2 stages, we had a battle and a half there, and managed to win those 2 stages. The 3rd stage had a bad restart. Ended up getting put back into 3rd. Caught up to Jeffrey a little later on, and I'll tell you more about it here in a minute because it looks like Keith Checkmate Taylor's not quite done here with Jeffrey. Jeffrey Oaks and him were having a pretty good battle to the end there, I would say. They were literally side by side, crossover, out of control. That to me was good racing right there on so many levels. But it appears that Checkmate has lost a little bit of his run and a little bit of his position. He's trying to draft off of Jeffrey Oaks and maybe wait for a mistake here. And he's going to try to run off that outside line. That could be a bit of a danger territory for both drivers if they're not careful. They seem to make it work though, and they seem to be okay at the end of it. Matthew Hopper right now currently in 4th as we take it to the onboard camera here with him. He's got literally about a 5.5 second gap between him and the leader, which is Jeffrey Oaks. Oaksy just kind of doing his own thing right now. Hoffer's staying with him though. He's got a nice little run or 2 in between, kind of keeping more under control and letting the truck kind of come to him. Warren Young. I mean, not much else I gotta say other than just Warren just doing Warren things. Staying nice, cool, even collective, not trying to over-ramp it, not trying to overdo anything. He's just kind of laying on the throttle, staying in a nice control state. Chief Checkmate Taylor right now in that 0-8, trying to get back up there to Jeffrey Oaks in that 20. Jeffrey trying to get a little bit of a push there on the front straightaway away from Checkmate. Checkmate, I gotta believe, is looking for that little opening, a little push or 2, and he is staying a little more towards the upper banks rather than to the wall protection like Oaksy is. I think maybe he saw something a little bit different than Jeffrey did there, and I'm not sure if that was the strategy in that turn or what he was thinking, but you know, whatever he did, it seemed to work okay because it holds up all right. Now going back to that little story earlier on here with Jeffrey Oaks, I mean, you know, like I said, when we were battling it out there, I was in a drought. I only had 1 win in my entire career on NASCAR Heat 4, and it literally came down to we were at Road America, and for the whole 2 weeks we were practicing our tail ends off to get that track down. As Checkmate Taylor might not have practiced a little bit enough on that exit of turn 2. Ended up kissing the wall, and it was not a French kiss. That was more of a sloppy kiss, if you ask me. Oh, I had to speak too soon. He goes right into the wall again at turn 3, and that was even sloppier. Here comes Dustin Slonaker. He's going to try to make him pay for that here. Maybe looking to push the tires a little bit harder here. Got to give credit's due to Slonaker. He's fighting hard on him. Remember, these drivers are running on fixed setups compared to what they usually are running, which is open setups from last night. Some of these drivers here, obviously from that league and from that series, and some of them, just, a lot of them kind of coming over and crossing over in between, just trying out a new thing or two. But yeah, just real quick, just to try to finish it out if we can here. Me and this cat right here, man, we were in, I believe it was like turn 4 or whatever, like with a 90-degree angle. And I was catching him pretty good on that long straightaway. You could go back and watch the footage too. I think you can even hear Chantel's reaction to it when we did it. It was literally a crossover state right there off that exit. And I just jammed that thing so hard off of that corner. I did not intend to, not brake, end up getting a brake check from Oaksy, but all at the same time, I wasn't trying to drive it in as hard as I did at him. It was almost like a bow and arrow right at his shot. Like I could have took his door completely off, but managed to get it turned and managed to cross over in between there. But I backed off after I kind of tangled with him, and he managed to make a good run off that, pushing more ahead. And next thing you know, it was a war of battle between me and him. I have massive respect for Jeffrey Oaks, and I have massive respect for Matthew Hoffer, man, when we were battling there. Those guys always put on a fight, put on a show. It was always great to go to war with Chantel when we had the chance as well, and obviously Sonaker, another top guy that, loved running against and loved taking down, taking on. So I do miss those days, and I hope sooner or later maybe I can get back into the asphalt series. To be honest, like I said, man, I've been running too much dirt, and it's just too much fun for me. But I will say it's probably a matter of time before I change my mind and try to actually give this another fair shake. On board here with Dustin Slonaker here as they come down that back straightaway. A little funny about Slonaker too, actually, is one of his only wins he ever got with with any racing series was back before we even came to iRacing, was on Heat 4. And what happened there was he actually ended up getting a really solid run there at Bristol Motor Speedway. And he actually was able to kind of wear and tear his car out and make it last the entire time. Managing to survive and work his way through the field. He actually won that race by a good margin. So it was kind of one of those crazy nights, man. You just never expected that to happen or anything like that. But it was just awesome to see him get it done and get things figured in. And speaking of a little bit of figuring in, there's a little bit of problems there at turn 4. Jeffrey Oaks right into the wall protection, and that's trouble. Here comes Checkmate now. He is going to make him pay for that. Oaksy seems like he's getting really tight out there. He's got to be careful. Might try to use Sonaker as a little bit of a shielding ground or a little help here. Here comes Steve Checkmate Taylor. Down the back straight away. Look at this. Such wrap getting put to good use. Uh-oh, but Slonaker's just almost sudden just slowed up completely there. Slonaker tried to back off, trying to get the tires to corner in just right, but he ended up actually ruining Taylor's run there. Keith should have probably gone down to the bottom if he had a chance there, but I don't think he was expecting Slonaker to do that on him. We're coming down to the final 15 laps here. If Keith wants to make a win here, he's got to make a move now because this is running out of time majorly here. The rest of the field kind of doing their own thing. Warren's still currently in the 5th spot, running a nice consistent line. Chantel about 17 seconds away from him. But when these drivers went into pit road, which now Chantel is going in, I was wondering when that was going to come into effect and it's going to really be a factor, and it looks like now they're deciding to take it in there quickly. So this will be interesting here to see who is going to be able to make the charge. Warren Young goes in. Noah Healy was already in pit road, so looks like he's going to try to play the fuel strategy run there and try to get his lap back. Dustin Slonaker, well, he's already getting some ground up on the guys and gals here. Noah's charging hard and trying to get in there quickly, but as you can see from our gap position-wise right now, he is struggling. He's a lap down still, and well, was a lap down, but he'll get it back. But does he have enough time to get back up into the run here or two? Todd Tuss right now still dealing with his issue. Well, Slonaker will take the race lead away once more. So I believe we've had, if you're counting along with me here tonight, I think we've had about 4 or 5 lead changes just in the race. Actually, I take that back, about 8 lead changes. Two of the drivers of which were just battling with each other to the end on those crossovers. I believe they accounted for like, what, half of that already? So Naker being very cautious, very patient. I think he really is trying to perform a long-term strategy, a long-term run. There's just one problem, is that Dustin Jeffrey Oaks is literally getting on him by about only about 2 seconds left before he's going to catch him. So I don't think the long-term game is going to work here, Sparky. You better get things figured out, man. Jeffrey is catching up ever so quicker up here after those issues he had on the wall protection earlier. I don't think he's going to have too many more issues after that one. Running it through there out of turn 2. Now we have a new leader of producers who would stop messing up my stuff every now and then. We're trying to get the onboard camera. They ended up putting up new leader there for a minute, but Jeffrey Oaks did not take the read until literally he gave across there out of turn 2. So Daker is in trouble. And that truck is not holding up well at all. I gotta believe he was thinking it was gonna run to the end and was gonna run a good line through, but I don't think he was expecting the way it happened to be here tonight. Coming to the end now, folks. This is going to be a bit of a hot one, if you ask me. This is getting closer and closer to being a run and a half with only 10 laps to go. When Oaksy comes across that line, Keith Checkmate Taylor right now is doing everything he can to get something going under that hood as we take it to the dashboard. That's just about 180 to 190 miles per hour. If you're wondering in kilometers what that is per hour. Let's just say it's a lot of speed. Let's just say that right now. It's fast-paced, it's action-packed, it's crazy, but man, do they put up a fight and put up a hard run to the end. If you're going to judge either off of them, here's a little bit of judging for you. You saw earlier what Checkmate had. This is what Oaksy's got right now on his speedometer. About the same. Although I will say Oaksy looks like he's getting a little bit more power into the turn than Checkmate is. I think Checkmate's trying to save up just a little bit more on those entries so that way he doesn't burn it in too quickly. Cindy Closer Taylor is running past her time zone right now. She might not be able to defend her win from last night from Kansas in the truck race. She got about a 3.5 second gap between her and her brother. And Jeffrey Oaks right now is just checking out the field about 4.5 seconds on his end. You know, for a guy that never really had a lot of wins to his name before we came over to iRacing, he certainly has changed his game plan and strategy around quite a bit. It seems like every time we see him now, he's always putting up a fight and putting on a show when he can. And he's been doing a great job of it throughout this series and throughout this night event. Key Checkmate Taylor is not giving up though. He's just out. He's under a second. He's looking to try to catch him here. We're going back on board with him. 7 to go. Lines are getting tight. Buckles are getting tightened up a little bit more, and you know, deep and good and well right now, they are keeping those wheels preferably planted in their hands. Keith Checkmate Taylor looking for everything he can, trying to put up a little bit more of a run here. He's still giving it all she's got, man. He is not giving anything out yet. Just look at that speedometer right there and just how hard it goes straight down. Just to try to set up that turn, but then right back on that throttle. Oh, that was ever so close. He got almost right into the wall protection. Managed to back off and get out of there quickly. The only problem is he lost about a 200th of a second on that one because of that turn. Oaksy's not exactly going to give it back to him that easily. 5 laps now remain. The flagman's going to hold the high 5 up in the air. You know what that means around here, folks. The field right now kind of spread apart. You saw Warren Young there. You see Matthew Hoffert. That's where Cindy the Closer Taylor's at the moment. Noah Healy is just coming out of turn 3. He's already kind of out of it at this point. He's already he's just already about to be a lap down if he's not careful. Chantel trying to catch up to him, but it's not looking too good for either one. Jeffrey now goes up, I banks, I risk, I reward, trying to make the pass, maybe to get around Chantel. Chantel's gonna stay to the middle and the bottom. Gonna let Jeffrey fight it out to the end. Here we go now, only 4 to go. Oaksy just needs to stay away from that wall. Keep checkmate Taylor is really 2 seconds back now all of a sudden. Looks like he might have spiked the wall a little bit and end up losing all his ground and momentum. He tried so hard to push it as good as he can, and unfortunately, I think that might have been the situation he was not expecting or wanting to have happen. And when we get to the 2 to go, remember there is no cautions at the 2 to go. They will not call a caution whatsoever. You got to race your race at that point. It has been a battle of racing proportions. It's been a battle of survival, trying to hang in there with the best of them, trying to do what they can. And I gotta believe also Oaksy might have heard my story a little earlier and is maybe getting a little bit reminder of what happened there and trying to beat that out of his mind. So I think that's why he's trying to run as hard as he is to the end here, as we are down to the final 2 laps. Has yet to have been challenged since he got that run off of Keith Checkmate Taylor. You see Taylor right now, and the distance that is between those two. Well, it's kind of night and day if you ask me. Camera literally flipping around so quickly there, you can see how far they are from one another. It's a 3.5 second gap between the two now, and they're going to come out of turn 4 and see a little bit of white flag stripes up in the high end of the spectrum. Keith gave it everything he had, gave it quite a bit of a show and a run. But they're going to bring it down out of turn 3, down into turn 4. And if Jeffrey Oaks can just finish this one out, he's going to win it. He had a fight last night at Kansas. He had to challenge everyone to the end. But now here in the Pushing Limits Racing League, that has changed. And finally, he is going to put it into victory lane. He takes down the Taylors. He takes down the field. Jeffrey Oaks is your race winner in the Pushing Limits Racing League. Definitely a good showing, in my opinion, from the drivers. Good battle all the way through, and only with that one little caution they had with that little skirmish, or kerfuffle, or scruffle, if you will. That was good racing, my friends. What an end and what a battle for these drivers. Everyone obviously giving what they had and doing what they needed to stay with the momentum, stay with the runs. Everybody doing what they wanted to try to get something dialed in. But again, with those fixed setups, man, they can be a bit tricky. Sometimes they're a big help, and then sometimes they are a major nuisance and trouble. Didn't seem to be the case here tonight. Good news is for us here tonight, as we didn't have to worry about rain delay or anything, or literally the dirt getting destroyed, i.e. Bristol dirt. Although to be honest, that was a lot of fun to watch, and I loved every minute of it. I just gotta let him do the burnouts. I'm not even talking right now. He's just letting him have his fun. That's really the main thing I'm gonna say there. He's jamming that thing into the throttle, man. He does not care, does he? All in good fun and good times. We will talk with our top 3 here now in just a moment. We are waiting for them to enter the call list here, but we will let you guys know right now if you want to go, and stay tuned in for tomorrow night, because we have ourselves another race coming your way. It will be with our good friends over in the Fast and Fun division. It will be with the Champion Power Equipment guys. So be sure to catch that when the time comes here. It'll be a good showing to say the least, and I think you'll enjoy that one. When we head to Chicagoland, we've always seemed to have some great battles and great wars be put on there. And I just have that feeling, man. It's gonna come back and it's gonna be more intense, more insane than ever. It's only a matter of time, I feel. But if you are tuning in for now, though, thank you again for coming along with us and coming for the ride. We always appreciate you guys and appreciate seeing the fans, friends, and family come out and to root on for their teams, to root on for their boys and their girls. It's always a pleasure to see you guys and see you folks at home taking it to a whole nother level here as we are currently getting settled in and taken care of here on our end. We're waiting a few more minutes before we go. And it looks like Jeffrey Oaks has tuned in now with us, so we're give Keith Checkmate Taylor the last little second place spot, and now bring it in. It's gonna be Jeffrey Oaks. He is now joining me here down in Victory Lane, and Jeffrey, once again, another trip to Victory Lane and a lot of runs you had to get through there just to survive this one, man. Talk about that one.
My hat's off to Keith. Keith made me drive the race of my life. Early on when him and I settled up high, well, actually him, Huffy, and I settled up high there. Obviously, that was going to be the line to go because unless it was going to be a 2 or 3 lap shootout, the bottom wasn't going to win on a long run. So, man, he made me drive my butt off and elevated my game. So, thank you, Keith. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was definitely some good battles all the way through. You had some those crossover racing there we seen earlier on. Definitely seemed to be putting on a heck of a fight and a heck of a battle there. Was at any point did you feel like he was going to try to catch you on some of those other corners?
I knew I had to watch for him, and I was even still nervous when he was at the end there. 8/10 to a second behind me, because Keith's fast up top, and so all it take me was getting into the wall once or whatever, and he'd be there to pounce. So, yeah, I was nervous pretty much all the way through, gripping the wheel. Driving hard, though. Elbows up, baby. Elbows up.
Elbows were up, and they were able to stay in line and position, and you're going to take home the good old Victory Lane trophy, and you're going to take home a win here tonight in Pushing Limits Racing League. So I got to ask you, man, who do you want to thank you for this one?
Yes, sir. I want to thank the league, first off. This is fun. Driving something different every week. It's a lot of fun. Good group of people in there. Not many cautions. Pretty good racing. PTM Racing TV. Appreciate you guys up there in the booth. I know we got some other sponsors in there. I'm bad at this, but
no sponsors that I'm aware of with Pushing Limit Racing League.
All right, well, then Paula's rap because she makes awesome raps, and I appreciate you guys in the broadcast booth. You guys do a phenomenal job, week in, week out, day in and day out. Just not always for us, but that's good. And my family and my beautiful wife for letting me do this and supporting me.
Absolutely, Jeffrey. Thanks again for tuning in, man. Congratulations on your race win. A lot of long overdue battles here, and a lot of good stuff here tonight, man. Congrats again.
Yes, sir. Talk to you soon, buddy.
Yep. See you later, Jeffrey. Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner here tonight, Jeffrey Oaks in the number 20 machine, as we now approach the final results to call it a night here tonight on our show. Here is how everyone plays it out. Jeffrey Oaks wins it. Checkmate Taylor. Keith Taylor, I should say. He's going to take home second. Third goes to Cindy the Closer Taylor. Fourth to Matthew Hoffert. Fifth to Warren Young. Sixth to Noah Healy. Seventh to Chantel the Throttle Pottle. Eighth to Dustin Swaniger. And finally, Jeffrey Todd Tufts finishing a respectable ninth. Well, that's going to about wrap it up here tonight, folks, for our racing. I know I said last night we had a doubleheader. I was wrong, so I apologize in advance, but the iRock boys are not going to race tonight, but next week they will, and they will be hitting it down to iRacing Super Speedway. But 2 weeks from now, oh boy, these Pushing Limit guys are going crazy with this one. They are literally taking the Legend Series, yes, those 34 Legend Coupes, to a road course. I'm not even going to say anything else. You guys just do the math and the idea and how that's going to go. That is insane to me. They're even thinking about doing that. But, you know what we say around here. We're interested to see how it plays out. So, for now, though, we're going to call it quits. Tomorrow night, we will see you here on the show. We're going to bring it back to you with our boys in the Fast and Fun Cup Series. Be sure to tune in for that. And also like and follow us up here on Facebook. And if you're watching the YouTube end of our spectrum, thanks again for tuning in. We love you guys. Until the green flag flies next time, be safe. God bless. Take care. You know we love you. Be safe now.